morning. It's quite early. How are you, everybody? This morning I just wanted to share something quickly. I was going to do a really long video, but I figured it'd be better if I just make it short and cover one aspect. So recently I was talking to a bunch of people about what other areas where you really shouldn't spend money on when you first launch your business. And I'm going to cover five different things that you really don't want to spend a lot of money on when you first start. And some of you are starting out, or you've been running your business for a while already. Now, in the first few years, as we know, most small businesses just don't survive for various reasons. And one of them is cash flow. Okay. So when it comes to branding your business, people all get excited about these things. And I'm going to talk to you about what those things are and why you shouldn't really focus too much energy on it, including money. Okay. First thing is your stationery, logos, business cards, and all that kind of stuff. Now, over the past 20 years, I've been working and helping businesses as a designer, developer, and project manager in various industries like education, government department, and commercial areas. 20 years I've been working in that space, designing and developing websites and other technology products before I became a professional photographer and a coach. Now, when people start thinking about their business, the first thing they think about is business name and a logo. And back in the days, people used to spend thousands of dollars on logo design and stationery design, as if that's going to be like the holy grail of succeeding. Of course, most of you know that is not the case, right? And if you're watching this video and if you're part of my group, you know that it's not going to be the case. So avoid spending tens of thousands of dollars, not even hundreds of dollars on logo design, okay? It's not as important as you think it is. Sure, if you find a branding specialist, visual branding specialist nowadays, you can find them online. Especially Instagram is a great place to find visual artists visual identity designers who will do like a suite of your visual identity at a fairly affordable price. If you are totally not au fait with design and if you're not really visual, sure, you can go for those services, but at a pinch, you don't have to. You can use something like Canva, where almost a million different design permutations possible without paying a cent. I know it sounds like a cheapskate, but I'll explain why that is not the case. So logo, stationery, don't spend money on these. Really, they are not as important. Second of all is the website. Sure, we all need a website. If you're launching a business, website is a great asset to have at the beginning. But, there's a big but. You don't need to spend a lot of money on it either, especially when you're beginning. And another big tip that I want to give you is don't go off and sign up with something that everybody else tells you to do. So for example, quite a lot of clients that I worked with in the past, they Googled something about websites and they learned that WordPress as a platform is the most widely used platform in the world. That is true. So they go off and sign up with the hosting company and they go off and buy a theme and start thinking about it. That costs money, yes, but only to realize a few months down the track, hang on a minute, they are not really what I need. It becomes so complicated and it becomes so overwhelming technically that they just give up and they got stuck with this website project that they cannot launch, sitting on it for months on end while they've already prepaid for it. So don't go and hire a web agency to get your website built. If you can, go for DIY solutions. And in terms of DIY solution, there are several options available to you. So don't go off and think world most widely used platform, therefore it might be good for me. Don't go down that path either. I can tell you this because I built hundreds of websites in WordPress. It is a great platform, but it is not for everybody. Equally, it's a bit like buying a Windows laptop because Windows laptop or Windows operating system is the most widely used. Yes, it is, but you know at the same time it's the most spammed, hacked, vulnerable system out there. WordPress is the same. So that's the second part, that I want you to really be careful when you spend money on it. Don't go off and look for somebody to build your website until you know exactly what you need. Don't sign up to do anything until you've actually gone through a proper branding process for yourself, for your audience, and for your business. Ultimately, after doing that, then you can look at website. Okay. Third part is somewhat controversial. Equipment. I am guilty of this. In the first couple of years, I spent tons of money on equipment. One thing that I could have avoided, but I didn't, out of all 5 items that I'm sharing with you, I spent a lot of money on equipment because I wasn't prepared to niche down my work. So at the beginning, I spent a lot on buying equipment that I didn't need. I didn't end up using few years down the track. So be very careful when you're making a purchasing decision on equipment, unless you are going to need it right now, and unless your clients are going to pay for it as part of the running a project or doing your business. Don't spend too much on equipment at the beginning if you can help it. The fourth element is subscription services, especially on CRM. See, a lot of ladies, when they start business, they get so excited and they think they have to have all these automated systems in place to run a successful business. That is another distraction element. A bit like logos and fancy websites and equipment, they're all distractions when you start building your own business. CRM is another thing. Not only they're expensive, but it's complicated to run. So at the very beginning, you don't even need those. Why not use spreadsheet? I have a pretty decent CRM system now, and I pay a lot of money annually, nearly $1,000 per year. That's a lot to me for subscription, but that only happened this year because my list got really, really big. Before then, to this day, I still have a tracking sheet in spreadsheet. So I'm telling you, you can do automation without having to go down the CRM route. When I say CRM, it's customer relationship management. It's like Salesforce. There are a whole bunch of systems like Zoho and Constant Contact, and all these are CRM systems that when you start you don't need. So avoid those at all costs, unless you are making tons of money and you have to manage like a vast amount of contact information. Hootsuite is another. Hootsuite is like combined social media and CRM. So all those systems at the beginning, you don't need them. So avoid those. The last point, you don't want to spend money on outsourcing your social media. I've done it briefly and I regretted having done that, because social media it's a contentious issue. If you feel overwhelmed about managing your social media account, you can start learning about it step by step. Until recently, say about a year or so ago, a couple of years ago, I was not at all good at managing my social media feed. Okay, so it took me a while. I've been running my business for 6 years now, and it took me ages to work out, okay, this is what social media is really about, how to use it effectively, and all the tips and techniques and that I learned over the years. Now it's coming to fruition. So it takes time, but do not attempt to outsource your social media, because social media companies that promise you the world, they tend to use less than savory tactics. They are not endorsed by social media companies. That's one reason. Second reason is social media really represents you. That's one of the most important branding aspects of your business. And if you can't show up as you are with your own brand message and your own personality and flavor, it doesn't do you any good. It doesn't do you any justice. This is one of the really most powerful tools you can use for free. I mean, there's aspects of it not really free because you're paying for your privacy and all that aspect, and they bombard you with your advertising, which I'm also part of. All that aside, you really want to think about learning how to use social media effectively so that you don't have to outsource it. Don't outsource it just because you don't want to learn how to do it, or you hate being on social media. Okay, you only outsource it if you have so much work, if you have so many clients that you cannot manage. I know even those people who have a massive amount of social following, they still manage their own social media profiles because they understand the importance of connecting with their tribe. They cannot be outsourced. So I hope that's helpful for you. 5 things. Don't spend ton of money on logo and website. Don't spend ton of money, equipment, and forget about signing up to use expensive CRM systems, and do not outsource your social media. Now in my next video, I'm going to share where you could spend money on if you have fun to spend, okay? Before I go, the reason why you don't want to spend a ton of money and how the example I was going to give you about logo design, I am, secretly, not so secret now, but I've been massively, rapidly building something to launch online. And for that, I decided that my logo, which I designed like in 10 minutes a few years ago, is not really suitable. So I had to rapidly rebrand my logo, which people don't even remember. People remember my face and my name, you know, the look of me, not the logo. If I ask you, do you remember my logo? And you say, what logo? So that's how inconsequential logo can be. So I had to decide, okay, how quickly could I knock up something that's going to be suitable for this product or this thing that I'm launching? I launched Canva and started doing something quickly. Okay, let's put something quickly together. It took me half an hour to put it together, and having a suite of logos to use across the entire platform, different channels, it took me less than an hour. You might say, hey, you used to be a designer, so it's easy for me. Yes, that's true. But equally, I have access to professional software like Photoshop and something called Affinity Designer, which is an equivalent to Illustrator vector program. I know some of you might think, oh, what is she talking about? So I have access to professional equipment for professional applications, but I did not use them for this. I had to quickly put something together. I didn't have time to research it. I just wanted to make something super quick. Canva is the best, really. And if you want to spend money, if I just jump forward, if you want to spend the money on something to get you rapidly launch and rapidly make things cohesive, subscribe to paid version of Canva. It's amazing. So good. Anyway, I stop now. I've going on so much. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, leave me a comment. I know you guys are like, not a lot of you are watching this video, but if you are watching, I hope you're getting tons of benefit from learning all this, because nobody taught me this when I started 6 years ago, and really I'm finding that I'm advising my clients on this and end up saving so much time and money. Anyway, talk to you soon. Ciao.